Give a warm welcome to Simon from Assistant UI.
Hey everyone, my name is Simon, and I'm here to talk to you about building your own internal AI assistants. Quick intro about myself. I work at a company called Assistant UI. We build a React.js library for AI chat. We're widely used for two reasons. One is to build AI inside your SaaS products. This is AI that powers in-app AI assistants or AI vibe coding tools. And then we are also using internal AI assistants. These are assistants that companies build for themselves, for their employees internally to use. And my today's talk is about this category of AI assistants, the ones that are built for in-house agents. Here's the current state of things. Every SaaS app that you use ships with its own AI assistant. And this leads to fragmentation. You can configure settings, memories, preferences in each one of these chats, but they are isolated, and every employee has the chat spread all over the place. As you can imagine, with MCP, we can now consolidate this. So we're moving towards using one assistant inside a company to organize all knowledge work. And this is either ChatGPT Business or Enterprise Chat, Claude for Teams or Enterprise, or many companies also build their own. And I want to today make the case for building your own instead of committing to an existing solution like ChatGPT or Claude. The UI is disappearing, and AI chat is a replacement. I want you to own the stack, because the other solutions that you have are walled gardens. And by owning the stack, you get more control, flexibility, and leverage. I'm going to explain to you why this is the case, and then we're going to build one together live on stage. Control is the first one. My friend was trying to unsubscribe from ChatGPT today, and they had to check this checkbox, which says, if you unsubscribe from ChatGPT Business, your workspace data and chat history will be lost. It's very hard to extract your data. There's no button for it. You have to call to support. And even if you extract your chat history data, you can't really easily import it into Claude or other tools. So you end up continuing to pay the monthly fees for ChatGPT. The second reason is flexibility. ChatGPT only lets you use OpenAI family of models. Claude only lets you use Claude family of models. If you build your own, you can switch between model providers depending on the use case. And also, as new models come out, there are winners or losers in certain categories. You can also add custom workflows and UIs beyond what MCP allows you to do. Third one is leverage. If you are the point of integration as a company for all your tools, then you have options. Instead of Slack, you can use Microsoft Teams. Instead of Notion, you can use something else. Instead of using OpenAI models, you can use Anthropic models. You can negotiate better. But if you're locked into a walled garden, then your negotiation position will go down. And it's easier than ever with AI to build your own AI assistant. Here's how they usually look like. You have an UI layer. You have an agent harness. And then you connect MCP servers and skills to them. Today, the tech stack that I'm going to use is Assistant UI for the UI, Vercel AICK as a harness, and we're going to build an MCP server with XMCP, a framework for building MCP servers. So let's jump right into the live demo. I have a code editor here and an empty repository. And I'm going to create a front end with Assistant UI with MCP capabilities. At this point, most AI coding tools know about assistant UI, so they know exactly what to do. But basically, we have a CLI command that lets you create new projects. I just bootstrapped the front end for me. It's now starting a dev server. So if I go here, I have an AI chat. This is our starter template. It's a decently looking AI chat with multiple thread support. But it can't do that much yet. So in order to add capabilities to this AI chat, I'm going to add an MCP server with XMCP, where we can define tools based on my needs. You can also add existing MCP servers that you have, for example, by configuring them here in the MCP client configuration. Add a new XMCP server project and connect it to the UI by starting it on port 8000. So you can see my front end is configured to already listen to a server that's locally running on port 8000. All right, now we have a server, and this is using the XMCP framework. And it comes by default with a weather widget. So let's take a look. So you can see it now sees a function called weather. OK, this is the weather app. Lets me click on a button, like Buenos Aires, and then I see the weather for it. Delete the weather and add a tool. At Assistant UI, we have an open source repository for our main product. And we care about looking at our GitHub issues, GitHub pull requests, making sure we're on top of things. So I'm going to create a few helpful tools to help me at my work there. As you can see in XMCP, tools each live in a separate file. Just like in Next.js, different pages have separate files. And tools have an implementation like this. And we can also add UI to each tool. So in this case, I have a tool that the LM can call called list open issues. And in a second, my agent is going to also add a UI component written in React that displays the open issues. While this is running, I can probably test it. think it's not seeing it yet. Let's see. Let's try again. All right, so now I also have a widget, list open issues. Server's restarting. I suspect something's not working with XMCP, and the server's crashing. Let's see. Yeah, looks like it. All right, I think we're making progress here. Almost. As you can see, I can use Assistant UI to debug my MCP server. It takes a few tries to get things to work, but it's fairly fast because you have a self-restarting dev server, and you can quickly iterate on your MCP server, connect existing ones, and create your own in-house AI assistant. This is what you can build with Assistant UI. This is one of our other examples that has a few more features, such as search, projects. We basically try to add everything that you will find in ChatGPT or Claude in here, so you can connect your Google Drive library with attachments and artifacts that the agent creates, as well as multiple chat conversations, incognito chats, settings, usage statistics, and all that. So with a template like this, you can get pretty far right out of the box. And this is all controlled by you. So you use your own databases. The data lives in your organization. And if you want to switch providers under the hood, you're always able to do so. These are the tools that I use here. MCP is the main connector and glue between the different providers. XMCP is the server protocol, server framework that I used to create my own MCP server and quickly connect it to other tools like Assistant UI. And Assistant UI was used as a front end. Thank you. I'll be happy to take a few questions.
Can you hear me? Yeah. What would you recommend for parsing very large wikis with 10,000 of pages or very large code bases to allow assistant to provide answers? So if I want to query my code base or query super extensive knowledge base.
we have this problem ourselves in our documentation. We have an AI agent that can answer questions about our code base. And we want it to be fast. We want it to be able to reference code as well as documentation files. And the way we implemented this is the same way Cloud Code works. We just put it in a file system and give it access to grep files and search and navigate the code base.
Follow-up question, if it goes through such a large number of files, do you pay a lot in tokens, like especially if it's publicly accessible?
Our costs are pretty low. It's like under $100 in total for inference. And we get tens of thousands of users interacting with our assistant here occasionally throughout the month. So as you can see, the way it works here is like it listed one of the folders, looked at the structure, and then just opened one of these files that was relevant. And it's pretty efficient because it doesn't have to read every file. It just can use tools like file search, as well as listing files in a directory to find what it needs. It ends up being pretty light on the context window. It's used 18,000 tokens for this question here. Any other questions? Cool. Thank you, everyone. Happy to chat more if there are any questions. You'll find me on Twitter or other social media. Thanks.